You're listening to 1069 Click FM, live in color.
Folks, wow, seems like it's been a long week already, but I've just had some very weird bedtimes this week. That's all. It's throwing me off just a bit. Welcome back here on 1069 Click FM. I'm Jim B, your host for something special we do on Friday afternoons, which is called Ass Talk, which is just me trying to get through the little noxious clouds of sports prognostication that we have to deal with instead of news, to just find a couple nuggets of truth. Thank you all for being here. I see MKI and William and Tim down in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, we're going to start with, the most fascinating of all the sports. While the off-season shenanigans continue in the Major League Baseball, we've got Jock Peterson signing a one-year contract with the Arizona Diamondbacks. You familiar with that player at all, MKI? Is it going to be of any worth to the Diamondbacks? But like I said, the sport that we're all really focused on right now, international test cricket, and the final numbers for day 2, well, it's looking grim. India is still up to bat at the end of day 2, and they already lead England by like 170 odd runs. So, yeah, they got busy. A couple different batters of theirs scored like 80 runs apiece. It's been a time. Yeah. Jaiswal, Rahul, and Jadeja, who is still currently up to bat, all have above 80 runs. Ravindra Jadeja has 81 runs on 155 balls at the moment, and he's still going. So, yeah, if I was rooting for Team England, I'd be feeling a little bit of sweat under the collar right now with how things are looking for their team. Unless they can, put up a 500 of their own. Oh, yeah. The score is 421 to 246. And they still have a couple wickets to go for this first inning for India's side. So we could definitely still see some true nonsense unfold in the second inning. And if y'all managed to catch any of the cricket stream, we were live for the first part of day 1, and yeah, there were some close moments and some nice throws, but all the respect to people who follow cricket for being able to stick it all the way through one of those games. Toronto versus Minnesota. Well, since Minnesota has kind of fallen off and Toronto usually has trouble beating teams that it should, I'd like to call this a wild victory, Tim. That's what I'm predicting for tonight. Oh yeah, it's Toronto. They should be fine. No big deal. Oh man. And that reminds me, before we get too lost in the football stuff, because I know my brain keeps wanting to go in that. Oh, the PWHL. Okay. Nice. I didn't know that was going on, but I haven't been following the Women's Hockey League as closely as I could have, man. So I have no view to give on that one. NHL, since the last time I really looked at ranking, things are pretty much unchanged. Boston, Florida, Tampa Bay, but right now Toronto is only a half a game, I think, behind the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I'd be a little bit worried if I was Tampa Bay. I wouldn't want to be thrown down into the wild card race with all the chaos that's down there. I mean, Arizona is still decently in contention for a wild card spot. We're only halfway through the season. There's still a lot of nonsense to go. Minnesota is undefeated, you say? Oh. Damn. Oh, good for them. All right, the Metropolitan Division. Yeah, like I'm not expecting anything out of the Capitals. We are way out of the wild card race right now, and it's New York Rangers, Hurricanes, who we saw absolutely just trounce in that game last night. The New Jersey Devils. Toronto is last place, but Minnesota is on a back-to-back with travel from Minnesota. All right. Well, could do Toronto some favors. And Philly, I don't know what the hell to think about the Philadelphia Flyers anymore. They seem like they're getting it together, and then they go on a skid. I've got nothing to say more than that. Same thing with the NBA, man. The teams are holding pretty much steady, you know, with Celtics and Bucks vying for first in the East, and the Timberwolves and Thunder still number one and number two in the West. The Thunder are only a half a game back at the moment, and yeah, they could be a problem for years to come, apparently. Rangers just lost to the Sharks 5-1, ending the Sharks' 14-game losing streak. Aw, that's so nice of them. Very, very kind. Meanwhile, the Thunder and the yeah, they're going back and forth. So I tend to kind of just let my focus on the NBA get soft and not look at the standings for a while, and I just expect they'll be trading for a little bit. They're playing the Pelicans, and where are the Pelicans? Oh, they're down in spot number 6 in the Western Conference. Okay. All right, this would be a nice statement win for the Pelicans, too. All right, was there anything else that I'd really wanted to go over? Was there any other particular news that I had missed? I do know that Jim Harbaugh is the Chargers coach. I do know that Raheem Morris got hired to be the Falcons coach, and I think right now there's only 2 vacancies left, and the Commanders is one of them. I think Ben Johnson is considered a top candidate for the Commanders' job, which, seriously, you've got Eric Bieniemy right there. Why? Just why? Why? Yeah, it'll suck to lose Ben Johnson, but I'll be more pissed that Eric Bieniemy will be passed over again, to be honest. It also makes me wonder, and this is honestly the first time that I've thought about it, although considering that no matter what, the Detroit Lions season will be over fairly soon, so it's something that I should think about, is, life beyond the current iteration of this roster and this coaching staff. there's a decent possibility that Ben Johnson will go to another team, especially if we are more successful. It could be a launching point for something big, but I also have to consider that no matter what, even if we lose to the 49ers this Sunday, Detroit now is an appealing destination, I think, not only for players, but for coaches. And I haven't looked at the what I'm assuming is just the teeming pool of algae and scheming that is the available coaches out there for hire in professional football. Mm, later, True North, later. But I would have to imagine that there would be at least one whose whose name would make my ears perk up. And if not, hey, hell of a learning experience. Why not? We can skip the playoffs again next year. I'm okay with that. Ah, all right. Now, it was asked last time that we had Ask Talk for me to rate the rank 1 through 4 the QBs left in the playoffs. And this is a tough assignment if I ever had one. And it's difficult because of what each of these QBs bring to their team. I mean, Lamar Jackson, his numbers aren't as high, but that's because he's also more often using his legs as a weapon, which he is very good at, and I remember it from this season, which is also why if we face the Ravens, I don't see us winning. But even if his throwing numbers aren't up there, he is still an integral part of his team's success, a big part of the reason why they have, been so dominating. Make as many running back jokes as you like. If it works, then it works. And Patrick Mahomes, you know, hate him for doing the improbable and the impossible as much as you like, but damn it, he will do everything in his power to drag his team down the field. Even this year, when the wide receiver room has been iffy and it's been the defense that has been saving the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes still finds the way to do things, even though his interception numbers are, a little unexpectedly high. I think currently I think he's actually higher than Goff, if I look at it. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, 14, Jared Goff, 12. Yeah. But he could still make things happen. Brock Purdy, I think just looking at the statistics alone, the idea that I have in my head of Brock Purdy, and feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, is that they keep his passing numbers low so they can limit the number of mistakes he can have. I mean, he's a second-year quarterback, essentially. But he's still willing to step up. Bears are interviewing Joe Barry for their defensive coordinator. Chicago? Chicago, if you hire Joe Barry, you have no one to blame but yourselves. I'm sorry. Anyway, Brock Purdy isn't really the thing that scares me the most about the 49ers. It's Christian McCaffrey. Plus Debo Samuel when he can be convinced to be a running back. But it's Christian McCaffrey. He's the one that frightens me. And especially Christian McCaffrey on the 49ers because he's not the only person who has to do everything. He can get the pressure taken off of him by Brandon Ayuk or George Kittle or Debo Samuel. So, oh yeah, just because Brock Purdy's role is, limited in that way, that doesn't mean that he's not a good QB. If he's getting the job done. Hey, there have been many one and done QBs for the Super Bowl. If the 49ers play their game to their level, they'll win against the Lions' weaknesses. But the 49ers did not play to their level against the Packers. Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be I think a pretty nice day for the hometown crowd for the 49ers. So I don't expect it to be very difficult for, the wide receivers that day. Exactly what I was thinking, True North. Their wide receivers versus our secondary. And yeah, I can absolutely imagine Brock Purdy getting at least one long bomb touchdown on us. Yeah, their defensive front against my QB, that is another concern. And to that point, I looked up the latest status on our center, Frank Ragnow. And, he is injured to hell and back, basically. Old man, everything hurts. But he is still expected to play. Unfortunately, our starting guard, Jonah Jackson, is doubtful. So, that's an issue. And if the Niners are going to be able to take advantage of that up the middle, I think is going to be the best way to go. Yeah, I know they have Young and Bosa on the edge, but I think we've done a decent job of protecting Jared Goff this year. Wait. Patriots have committed $450 million to the next two off seasons minimum. Cool. Oh boy. Patriots making moves. And the Lakers won last night. So, hey, that's always something. And the Lakers are still in the playoff race last I checked, I thought. Yeah. No, they're doing better than the Warriors anyway. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah. The thing that is kind of upsetting is that James Houston is essentially like Godot. He'll play tomorrow, but when the game comes, he won't be playing. He'll play tomorrow. And we apparently signed Zach Ertz to our practice squad with hopes that he will be cleared and elevated to play on Sunday. Apparently, we are so injured at tight end that we had to sign Zach Ertz. Wow. I have very few thoughts on Doc Rivers, Tim M. Other than the fact that I know that he exists and he's been bouncing between a couple of teams from the past few years. Meanwhile, the Warriors lost to the Kings last night. Oof. Yeah, the major storyline that has been repeated through video and news reports over and over again is that these past 3 years has been the story of Jared Goff's confidence being rebuilt after essentially, getting hung out to dry in Los Angeles. So it is if that is the case, then yeah, they struck him down and he came back stronger than they ever imagined he would. But you think you're impressed with Goff? When I went to get food today, a couple guys behind the counter, they saw my Lions mask, and they told me that they thought Detroit had a chance. And their reasoning was, if the Packers could hang with San Francisco throughout that entire divisional game, then surely Detroit should be able to beat them. Which I can understand where they're coming from, because Green Bay, let's be honest, they, I think, exceeded many people's expectations. Jared Love being the wild card, an incomplete data set as far as him in a professional football setting being the starter. And then second half of the season comes around, things click, defense starts to tighten up, and they end up winning the wild card against the Cowboys and making it to the divisional round. So I kind of like to think they overachieved, and I'm interested to see how they do next year. But yeah, that is the thing, and True North brings it up in chat that gives my heart pause. I'm not buying a narrative that the Lions are much better than the Packers. You ended up splitting the season series with us 1-1, and I thought, it'll be fun to face you guys in the playoffs, but you will be very dangerous to face in the playoffs. Meanwhile, Bucks players fired dances after their coach was fired. Huh. Yeah, that's a little rough. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Dan Campbell could definitely lose us this game, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Dan Campbell could definitely lose us this game. Well, yeah, obviously, if they beat the 49ers, the Packers would have made the Super Bowl because at that point, you were essentially repeating the track of the last time that the Packers went to the Super Bowl, except you'd be doing it with a rookie QB. Holy crap. But didn't quite work out this time. So improve, and we'll see you next season. I look forward to it. As for the Lions this Sunday, I am deathly afraid of what will happen to us. Like True North said, against the pressure of that line and the ability of our running backs to establish the run game, because I do not look forward to the prospect of making Goff win the game with his arm. You know, he does have the most passing yards out of all of the QBs who are left in the playoffs, but I do believe he also has more than a few interceptions and still many more incompletions. He doesn't have the best QB rating as far as this season goes. Hello, Luke. Hope you're doing well. Bit of a rough patch for the Lions today over in the test, but fingers crossed for tomorrow. And I think maybe we can hang with the Niners in this game, just because we find a way to hang with most of the teams we play, with the exception of the Ravens. But I do not think we will beat the Niners this Sunday. If I had to call it, I'd say 27-21 in favor of the 49ers. And as for Ravens and Chiefs, like this is going to be a test for the Kansas City Chiefs defense, because that Ravens offense, they are no joke. You know, I wish the Chiefs the best of luck, but yeah, 16-10 Ravens. That is my blighted, foggy pick. MKI thinks Raven Lions in the Super Bowl. That'd be fun. Be scary as hell, but it'd be fun. I don't think so. Not this season. Tim says, he feels the NBA has an issue with players running teams, and the refs so skewed over the game now. Yeah, honestly, that is not something that I've ever picked up on myself, Tim, but that's also because I never end up reading up on, like, you know, team gossip or behind the scenes drama, or you know, like back and forth of players and teams through the media or social media or anything like that. So maybe there's a whole bunch of stuff that I am missing in that regard, but yeah, I think I could believe you on the refs, just because, you know, I think except for the CFL and international cricket, yeah, in American professional sports, woof. And I'm assuming this is related to Birmingham City, the soccer club. And what is the exact particulars of this commercial deal, Luke? Blue Jackets won against Calgary. Ugh. Oh, Blue Jackets. Oh, it's we can always count on you to bring a team back down to reality. And Edmonton won against the Blackhawks, as well they should. Yeah, even if these Detroit Lions lose on Sunday, yes, I know I'm broken record with it, but my only expectation was the playoffs. When I saw the injuries piling up during the season, I thought, all right, I think we could still make the playoffs, but I don't know if we'll win. Things lined up in a way that now we're in the NFC Championship game. And if this can be held on to, if this can be built upon, if this could be, you know, a level that we strive to for at least the next 10, 15 years, I'm okay with not going this year. Yeah, there's nothing more to say about Vince McMahon, and that's probably why whatever reason you have for bringing him up, I'd probably be very sad if I looked it up. Oh, we got stadium renaming, offering financial incentives for on-field performance and social media engagements, $9 million a year over the next 3 years. Well, let's hope it works out for the club. Oh, I don't know if you all know this, but there was a brief period in the 2000s where the owners of the Chicago Cubs, who I believe were the Chicago Tribune at the time, were actually considering selling the naming rights to Wrigley Field, which had been Wrigley Field basically since its inception. And it was one of the few things that united the city in uproar over the fact that they would be losing that name. Needless to say, they didn't rename it. He ended up selling the team to its current owners, the Ricketts. Oh, it's that bad, Luke. Ooh. Yeah. Oh. I bet that company that well, all those people that just got in bed with the WWE recently, yeah, they're feeling real good about their portfolios at the moment. Oof. Meanwhile, tonight we can look forward to in the NHL, Florida and Pittsburgh, the Knights and the Rangers at 7 o'clock Eastern, LA Kings versus Colorado Avalanche at 9 Eastern, and St. Louis versus Seattle at 10 o'clock. Name has changed from St. Andrews to St. Andrews at Knighthead Park. Ah, okay. All right, I think that's a fair way of keeping it in there. Cool. All right. Is there anything else that we really need to cover? Coburg. Damn. Yeah, a little bit late, but just to catch you up, I'm calling the Lions to hang in for most of the game, but in the end lose by like 8 or 7 at the end to the Niners. And I think it'll and Ravens Chiefs will be low scoring, but it'll be the Ravens. True North, if you do end up uh, selling your name, can you at least indicate it in some way that you are advertising? Because I'd feel much more comfortable about that. Mm. I did not see them. I did not see that one, Coburg. I think I missed that one. Yeah, if you want to know the truth of it, Mr. North, just because of all the people who have brought up Taylor Swift's presence at the Kansas City Chief game as some great uh, blasphemous, heretical thing that, is destroying the game in some way. I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with the Chiefs winning now if it means that those people stay angrier for just a little bit longer. And happy birthday to Bob Euchre. Well, folks, I think I've run out of things to say, and I don't want to extend this show any longer than it needs to be. So that's going to do it for Ass Talk today. You know what? Deuce Staley's all right. Maybe he just needs more time on his belt to get some coaching experience. But I have good thoughts for the Packers going into the offseason. Yeah, I don't think I want that script. The Lions would definitely lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's going to do it for this episode of Ass Talk. I appreciate y'all dropping by for however long you did. It's always welcome. I will see you tomorrow for Miami versus New York in NBA action on 106.9 Click FM. I'm Jim B. Good night, Milwaukee, wherever you are.